Take on the role of one of Yellowstone National Park's smaller mammals as you build an intimidating three-dimensional fortress at the entrance to one of the park's many forests, and form an alliance with some fiercer animals to occupy this fortress, all in the hopes of scaring away the destructive campers who want to infiltrate your home. Welcome to Defenders of Yellowstone, a three-dimensional polyomino stacking forest defense game for 2 to 6 players. During setup, each player chooses a player board and then takes the matching set of 36 fortress tiles and 3 scoring markers. If your player board has a one-time use special ability like the squirrels do here, then take the matching special ability token as well. Each player then takes 2 geyser tiles, placing one on the player board of the player to their left and the other on the player board of the player to the right. Each player also takes 4 bison figures and places them next to their player board. Shuffle the deck of 30 tile cards, 6 cards for each of the 5 possible shapes, and deal them evenly between all players. If you are playing with fewer than 5 players, remove 1 complete set of cards before shuffling. Each player draws the top 2 cards of their personal deck to form their hand, leaving the rest of the cards in a face-down stack. The complete setup for an individual player is shown here. To complete setup, shuffle the 8 ally cards and deal a number of cards equal to the number of players plus 1. This is the public ally supply. Each ally card has a corresponding set of 24 meeples, and you should place these to the side within easy reach of all players. Separate the scoring cards into 3 groups based on their type: permanent, vertical, and fortress. Place the permanent card on the table, then randomly choose 1 vertical and 1 fortress card to place next to the permanent card. These 3 cards determine how players will score points for this game. Finally, deal 1 camper card to each scoring card, making sure that the number of values visible is equal to the number of players. If you are playing with 5 or 6 players, make all 4 values visible and set the 25-point card to the side of the scoring cards. You are now ready to play Defenders of Yellowstone. A turn in Defenders of Yellowstone is simple. The active player plays a card from their hand, then all players simultaneously carry out the actions shown on that card. Each card will show 2 actions. First, there is the build action. Each player has the option to place a tile in their fortress, matching the shape on the card. These tiles vary in number and placement of lookout points, which will be important for the second action. A tile can be placed anywhere in your fortress, including on top of other tiles, as long as it is fully supported. However, you cannot build on top of geysers. Your single square tiles are not represented by cards. Instead, you can place these whenever you want to help fill in gaps so a tile will be fully supported. The second action on each card will be to recruit animals to your fortress according to the symbol in the corner of the card. If the card has a bison symbol, then each player must place a bison figure in their fortress. Bison figures count as a normal animal, but they take up 2 spots, one of which must be a lookout point. If the card has a time symbol, then every player who has formed an alliance must place a certain number of animal meeples in their fortress. Forming an alliance is one of the key decisions a player will have to make. So let's take a closer look. At the beginning of the game, you have no ally, so you can ignore any time symbols on played cards. But at some point in the game, you will decide that you are ready to start placing animals in your fortress, so you will form an alliance with one of the available allies. This can be done at any point by simply taking the ally card and its matching supply of meeples into your possession. Timing this decision is crucial, though, because once you form an alliance, it can never be canceled or replaced. and you will start placing animals in your fortress every turn. If you form an alliance too early, you will run out of room, and these allies will start deserting your fortress. If you form an alliance too late, you will be left with an empty and poorly guarded fortress. Once you have an ally, then every time a card with a time symbol is played, you must place a number of animals in your fortress following the symbol on the card. For example, if this card with the morning symbol is played, then the player who allied with the cougars must place 4 animals in their fortress. Each animal must be placed on a lookout point, and there can only be 1 animal per lookout. If you don't have any available lookout points, then the remaining animals will desert your fortress. With a limited supply of animals, you need to be sure to not waste any opportunities. The game will end once every player has either passed or has a single card remaining in their hand. While passing means you won't be able to add any more tiles or animals to your fortress, it also means your opponents won't benefit from the cards you would have otherwise had to play, and it is a way to strategically end the game more quickly. At the end of the game, players compare their totals for each scoring card, earning a number of points or campers based on their ranking. For example, the player here with the most total animals in their fortress will get 0 campers. The player with the second most will get 6, and so on. Add your score from each of the 3 cards, and the player with the fewest total campers is the winner. Before I go, I wanted to talk about some factors that give Defenders of Yellowstone enormous replayability. Of course, any card-driven game that involves placing polyominoes is going to play out differently every time, but it goes much further than that. First up, the variable scoring cards. While you use the permanent card every game, rewarding players who have a lot of animals, the other 2 cards will encourage you to arrange those animals in different ways. The vertical cards include such goals as having animals on many different levels, having a lot of animals on the first level, having a lot of animals on level 3 or higher, having the highest level with at least 1 animal, and so on. The fortress cards include such goals as having a lot of animals in the middle of your fortress, having a lot of animals in the front of your fortress, having the most columns completely filled with animals, having the fewest empty spaces around your geyser tiles, and so on. The ally cards also provide a lot of variety, as each one allows you to recruit at different rates. Some are pretty consistent for different time symbols, while others vary drastically. Some allow you to recruit quite quickly, while others are slow and steady. In each game, you will have to adapt your strategy to the allies available. Finally, the player boards are double-sided, and each one comes with a special ability. Put all this together, and you have a game that presents you with a unique and interesting challenge every single time you play. Defenders of Yellowstone has a great table presence, is simple enough to teach almost anyone, and has enough emergent strategy and subtle player interaction to entertain any serious gamer. Plus, the simultaneous play means that you can play with up to 6 players in about an hour or less, making it ideal for any game night. With all the damage campers do by littering, starting fires, and altering the environment in other ways, the world needs more Defenders of Yellowstone.